I woke up to the sound of my mother's voice calling my name, only it was not her voice anymore. It was something twisted, guttural, and hungry. My family, the people I loved most, were not themselves. They were something else, something that wanted me dead. Before we begin, if you are new here, make sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, tell me in the comments where you are watching from and what time it is right now. Have you ever woken up and felt like the world was suddenly wrong? That was my reality the morning everything changed. I remember the smell first. It was sharp, metallic, and sour, like old blood and rotting meat. I sat up in bed, heart pounding, and listened. The house was too quiet. No morning news, no clatter of dishes, just a low, wet, shuffling sound from the hallway. I called out, "Mom?" My voice cracked. No answer. I slid out of bed, feet cold on the hardwood floor, and crept to my door. The hallway was dark, shadows stretching long and strange. I could see movement at the end, my mother standing with her back to me, swaying slightly. "Mom?" I whispered again. She turned. Her eyes were milky, unfocused. Her mouth hung open, lips torn and bleeding. She took a step toward me, dragging one foot. The sound was wrong, bones grinding, skin scraping. I stumbled back, slamming my door shut just as she lunged, her hands clawing at the wood. I pressed my back against the door, breath coming in short, panicked bursts. My mind raced. Was this a nightmare? Was I still dreaming? I heard another voice, my father's, deeper but just as twisted. He was downstairs, growling, snarling. Something crashed. Glass shattered. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, but there was no signal. No messages. Just the emergency alert flashing red. Stay inside. Do not approach infected individuals. Lock all doors. My family was infected. I was trapped. Alone. Or was I? I heard footsteps, lighter, faster. My little sister Emma. She was still here. Still human. Or was she? I had to find her. But first I had to get past my mother. I pressed my ear to the door, listening. The shuffling stopped. Silence. Then a single soft knock right on the other side. Was it my mother? Or something else? Would you risk everything to save someone you love, even if they might already be lost? I held my breath, heart hammering. The knock came again, softer this time. I whispered, "Emma, is that you?" No answer, just a low, guttural moan. My mother was still out there. I scanned my room for anything I could use, a baseball bat, a heavy lamp. I grabbed the bat, gripping it so tight my knuckles turned white. I cracked the door open just an inch. My mother's face appeared in the gap, twisted and hungry. Her eyes locked on mine. She lunged, slamming her body against the door. I shoved it shut, heart racing. I needed another way out. The window. I yanked it open, cold morning air rushing in. The roof sloped down toward the backyard. I climbed out, careful not to slip, and crawled along the shingles. Below, I saw my father in the yard, staggering in circles, his clothes torn and stained. He looked up, sensing movement, and let out a guttural howl. I dropped down onto the porch roof, then to the ground, landing hard. Pain shot up my leg, but I forced myself to move. I crept along the side of the house, peering through windows. The living room was a mess, furniture overturned, blood smeared on the walls. My mother was inside, pacing, searching. I heard a faint cry from the basement window. Emma. She was alive. I ran to the window, crouched low. "Emma, it's me!" I whispered. Her face appeared pale and terrified. They tried to get me. I locked myself in. "Please help me." I scanned the yard. My father was getting closer, his movements jerky and unnatural. I had to move fast. I found the basement door, but it was locked from the inside. I pounded softly. "Emma, unlock it, hurry!" Inside, I heard her fumbling with the lock. My father was almost on me now, his breath ragged, his eyes wild. The door creaked open just as he reached me. I dove inside, slamming the door behind me. My father's hands clawed at the glass, his face pressed against it, snarling. Emma stared at me, tears streaming down her face. "What do we do now?" she whispered. I had no answer. When the world falls apart, do you fight for the people you love, or do you run to save yourself? The basement was cold and dark, the only light coming from a small, grimy window. Emma clung to me, shaking. I tried to steady my breathing, to think. Above us, footsteps thudded. My mother, searching, relentless. "We cannot stay here," I whispered. "We need to get out." "Maybe there are others. Maybe there is help." Emma nodded, wiping her eyes. "But what about Mom and Dad?" I looked at her, my heart breaking. "They are not themselves anymore. If we stay, we die." A heavy silence settled between us. I remembered family dinners, laughter, warmth. Now all that was left was fear and hunger. I heard my mother's voice, muffled but unmistakable, calling my name in that twisted, broken way. It made my skin crawl. I found an old toolbox and rummaged through it, grabbing a flashlight and a rusty hammer. Emma found a backpack and stuffed it with water bottles and snacks. Every sound from upstairs made us freeze. Suddenly, the basement door rattled. My mother was trying to get in. The wood creaked, splintering. I grabbed Emma's hand. "We have to go, now." We found a small window at the back, barely big enough to squeeze through. I pushed Emma up first, her feet scrambling for purchase. She slipped out into the cold morning air. I followed, heart pounding, just as the basement door burst open behind me. We ran, not looking back, through the overgrown backyard and into the woods beyond. Branches whipped at my face, the world spinning with fear and adrenaline. I could still hear my parents' voices, echoing through the trees, calling my name. We stopped, breathless, at the edge of a clearing. Emma looked at me, eyes wide with terror and hope. "What do we do now?" she asked. I stared into the endless forest, the world silent except for our ragged breathing. I did not know what waited out there, or if we would ever be safe again. But I knew one thing. I could never forget the faces of the family I left behind. Would you have stayed and tried to save them? Or would you have run?